Hello everyone, and welcome back to Optimize FPO. We're just going to go through last week's results, and I'm going to do a little bit of tinkering with the wildcard, and then tomorrow I'll upload another video showing what my final wildcard team is going to be. I'd be very surprised if it's any different than most of the wildcards I have for you guys today, but if it is, I will obviously let you guys know tomorrow. Okay, let's go through Game Week 6 results first, and then we'll go to the wildcard. Starting off in net, I did end up changing my mind on who I wanted to play in net. Instead of Sanchez, I played Foster. I thought Sanchez against Crystal Palace was a worse fixture than my man Foster, the cycling goalkeeper, in net for against Newcastle, which was fine. Got 3 points, got 1 more point than Sanchez, so it is what it is. Pretty decent. Yeah, we'll move on to the entire defense now. So looking at our defense, we are looking pretty weak in our defense. We got a solid 3 points from the 3 players that played in our defense. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 1 point against Brentford. I mean, they played really well, and he didn't play all too well that game. I mean, did all right, but obviously did not keep it nearly any shots away from the net, so it is what it is. Shaw was 0 points, only played 30 minutes in the Aston Villa game, and then got a yellow card in that time. So, yeah, it looks like he'll probably be back next game week, but I doubt he'll still be in our team. And Livramento got 2 points. Not much to say there. Wolves scored, which was nice. I'm very happy for that, obviously, because of what we're going to see next, but yeah, Livramento 2 points. Oh, it's all right. Let's move on to our midfield. So looking across the midfield, this is where a lot of our points really came through. Salah was very good. He came in with a goal in the Brentford game. Looked like it was going to be offside, but didn't end up counting as offside, which is very nice. Yata with a nice little header to, I believe it was either to equalize or to get a 2-1 lead. I can't remember exactly what part of the game it was, but either way, happy to see Jota on the score sheet. Yeah, so very happy our captain did well. Greenwood, no points in the Aston Villa game. I mean, Manchester United looked pretty weak in that game overall. They just were pretty non-threatening the most of the game, and then the penalty at the end that Ronaldo didn't take, and instead Fernandes did, and my God, that thing went into outer space. Lastly, in our midfield, we are very lucky to have Rafinha. I think he's a fantastic option at this price point. I just don't see anybody else matching his returns at this price point. 2 bonus points, got a goal. Only played 70 minutes, but that's enough for us. Yeah, Leeds still ended up losing that game to West Ham, which was unsurprising considering Leeds literally have no defense. But yeah, we're happy that Rafinha ended up getting the goal that we were looking for from him. Let's move on to our forwards now. Starting from left to right, we're looking at Lukaku. 2 points, not really surprising. He played Man City. Fantastic defense, didn't get a goal. Man City ended up winning that game 1-0, so, you know, it is what it is. That game was always going to be low scoring, though, so it's not surprising that it was Man City. They got that one, only 1-0. It wasn't going to be a 5-4 type game where everyone's scoring goals. Their defenses are just too amazing for that to be happening. Although in the Leeds game, I was expecting a little bit more goals. I thought West Ham's defense is pretty weak, and I thought Leeds' defense is definitely weak. But I'm happy that out of the 3 goals, I got 2 of the goal scorers, Antonio and Rafinha. Antonio getting another goal. He's been on liquid hot fire. And I'm just happy that I have him for now. I don't know if I'm going to keep him in my wild card, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, just goals, got the bonus points, very nice. Moving on to the last man, Jimenez finally getting his goal. Very excited for that, considering that Wolves fixtures coming up are absolutely fantastic. And I think that he is definitely going to be in the team. I'm loving what he's doing for Wolves, and I think that he is probably the most nailed forward for that team. So I'm very excited for that. Bench did not do anything very inspiring. Sanchez 2 points, Ayling 0, Brownhill 2 points, Amarte 0. So not too much to say there, just average. I think Amarte is he's going to be definitely gone, and same with Ayling. Ayling is injured, and no set return date. So yeah, we'll have to take a look at that. But I got my points exactly right. So the predicted score was 56.9. I was looking a little bit more pessimistic this game week at 55, and I guessed it spot on. That is exactly what we got. So I'm very excited about that. Our total points are now 436, which is pretty decent after 6 game weeks. Pretty excited about that. We're still in the top 100K. We're now at 61,440. So yeah, we're looking pretty good. Happy to stay inside the top 100K. Trying to just keep inside the top 100K for probably the first half of the season. If I can stick in the top 100K for the first half of the season, I think the second half of the season I can go a little bit more template and try to just hold on to that spot, because I'm going to be a really good finish for the season. Okay, so let's start looking at some of these wildcard drafts that I have for you guys. Okay, so there are 4 wildcard drafts that I think are definitely the best ones. I'm just going to go through the players that are nailed on in literally every single one of my wildcard drafts. Not everyone's going to be able to replicate this because I did bring in some players before some price rises. As you can see, everybody on here was literally just brought in because I thought their price would rise within the week, or their prices are already above the asking price, like Salah, for example, or Jimenez. So yeah, let's go over some of the main people that are going to be in these wild cards. Ramsdale going to be in the wild card for sure. His price is set to rise soon, so that's why he was in the team. But he's also staying in the team because Arsenal's fixtures are fantastic, I think, going forward, and I think that their defense is really good. I think everyone was underestimating what Arsenal can do in defense. I was definitely not sure about Ramsdale until I saw him play against Spurs. I think he's definitely now the number one. And yeah, I think Ramsdale's fixtures are just fantastic. I mean, he's probably going to be playing every single game now. And yeah, I just think that he's a fantastic option in net. You could keep Sanchez if you really wanted to. I just think that Arsenal are going to be a better defense overall than Brighton are. They had like the 4th best defense last season, and considering Ramsdale's only a 4.5, and some of the better defenses are like 5.5, 6 millions, I think that this is a fantastic option for basically the entire season, assuming that Ramsdale doesn't get either injured or dropped. Next player on the list is going to be Foster. Really, it's just a 4.0 goalkeeper who could actually start a game. There aren't that many. It's not like Watford's fixtures are any good or anything. They're actually pretty terrible, so I think it's going to be Ramsdale every single game. But Foster is just, he's fun to have. I love the Cycling Goalkeeper YouTube channel, and yeah, just going to try to keep him around as long as possible. Next up into the defense is Rudiger. Chelsea's fixture swing is absolutely immense, and their defense is also fantastic. I don't see myself ever going without Rudiger for a very long time. Their fixtures just look absolutely fantastic. I mean, Southampton, Brentford, Norwich, Newcastle, Burnley, Leicester, all in a row. Leicester's obviously not a great one, but the next 5 are absolutely fantastic. I'm definitely looking at doubling up on Chelsea. So Rudiger is definitely in every single wildcard draft I have so far. So yeah, he's just a no-brainer. I got him in before the price rise, so he's 5.6 for me, which is really exciting, but for others, he wasn't able to be that price, so it's unfortunate. The other defender that is nailed on in every single one of my wildcard drafts as well is Livramento. He is in every single wildcard draft. I think he's a fantastic enabler. I think Southampton's defense, although not fantastic, are good enough, and he's definitely good enough cover for most of my players. He'll be a great, probably first bench option. Yeah, he plays Chelsea next game week, but he has Southampton have a great fixture run from 8 to 12. And yeah, I just think that Livramento, if he nails that starting place down, I don't see why I wouldn't want him in my team. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having him in the team. Let's moving on to the midfield. The only player that I believe is nailed on in every single one of my drafts is going to be Salah. Actually, there's more than just Salah, but Salah is one of the main ones that's going to be nailed on in all the drafts. Yeah, just Salah, just fantastic player. He's risen in price, so I don't want to get rid of him. Owned by 60% of the game, and he's absolutely hot, red-hot fire form. It's actually ridiculous. He's got 56 points in 6 game weeks. He's been absolutely freaking unreal, and I just cannot imagine myself ever dropping him from the team. The other midfielder, actually, that is nailed on every single draft is Saka. Yeah, but Kaiosaka, he's playing fantastic. He played a great game against Tottenham, which was to my dismay, but he's been playing absolutely fantastic football. I think he's a great player. I think that as long as he keeps that starting place down, which I think he will now that he's back full-time, I just don't see... I think it will be mostly Smith Rowe and Pepe, like switching for that left and right spot, and they're going to be playing on whatever side Saka is not playing on. So yeah, I think he's looking great. I think his fixtures look really good. Look at that. Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Leicester, Watford, just looking fantastic. So yeah, he's in every single wildcard draft, so I'm really excited about it. Moving on to the forwards, it's Lukaku in every single wildcard draft. I just think that Chelsea, again, we've looked at their fixtures, absolutely unreal. He's probably going to be my captain probably like 4 of the next 5 game weeks, other than maybe Salah 1 game week if they're playing against the worst team. But yeah, Lukaku in the team, no matter what. He's a fantastic player, and I just can't imagine not having him in the team. The other player that might shock some people is Jimenez, actually. So Jimenez is going to be in every single one of my wildcard drafts. I just think that his fixtures are absolutely unbelievable, and I think that if he can pick up some form, which I think he will now that he's finally broken his duck, that he's going to be absolutely amazing. I mean, I can't drop him for Newcastle at home. It just feels like a war crime to drop him against Newcastle. And then we got Aston Villa, Leeds with no defense, Everton with the crap defense, Crystal Palace, West Ham with the weaker defense, Norwich, Burnley. I mean, this is just a fantastic fixture run for a forward. and I just can't drop him for that. It just seems just too bad to drop. So yeah, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players that are going to be in every single wildcard draft. So let's look at the first one. Okay, so this is the first wildcard draft. So we have Alonso in. We're doubling up on the Chelsea defense. We have Cancelo in for Trent. I just thought he'd be a better option than having Trent, because Trent could be out for this game week and potentially even next game week. And if he's missing Watford, I don't really care to have him for Manchester United and a bunch of other games that just seem more difficult than City's defense. And Cancelo's just been absolutely amazing. I think he is like almost essential. He's actually looking back on it, he's almost in every single draft that I have coming up. I actually made a mistake that Brownhill is also another player that's in every single wildcard draft, and so is Tony. They're two players that I think are just fantastic. Brownhill for 4.4. He's just going to stick there. He's going to get 2 points every game, so there's nothing really to worry about. And Tony, his fixture run in the next 3 is pretty rough, but after that they get really good, and I think that Tony on penalties can score against anybody, especially after what we saw in the Liverpool game. But anyways, looking back at this wildcard draft, we have Son and Grealish in here. The concept is basically that we have no money in the bank remaining. So the idea is basically to either drop Son or Grealish down to a lower price player. Son would probably either go to Jota or somebody else in the 8 million bracket, and then we'd bring Alonso up to Trent. Or the idea would be to bring Grealish down to someone in the 5 million, 6 million range and bring Alonso up to Trent. So either way, Cancelo and Rudiger are sticking in the team. Trent's coming in for one of the two, and yeah, that's what the team is looking like right now. So that's the first wildcard draft. It's not my favorite. I think there are a bit different ways to rearrange the funds to get a little bit better team, but let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this is the next wildcard draft. Very little has changed in this team. The only difference is that Rafinha comes in for Son, and Alexander-Arnold comes in for Williams, the Norwich defender, which I didn't talk about in the last wildcard draft. But yeah, basically the concept is that if you want to keep Trent and you think that he's going to be back for the next game week, which I'm not sure if he is, or like for game week 8 is what I mean, then he can sit on the bench and you can play a back 3 of Alonso, Rudiger, and Cancelo, and then Rafinha comes in for Son. Leeds fixtures are absolutely fantastic. I'd really love to keep a Leeds player in this team if it's absolutely possible, especially since Rafinha has no longer been yellow flagged, because he doesn't seem like he's going to have any injury problems anymore, which is nice. But yeah, so that's basically what the second wildcard draft is looking like. Very similar to the first one. I'm not going to lie about it, but yeah, this is what it's looking like right now. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this is the next wildcard draft. The only difference is we brought Duffy in for Alonso, we brought Kyle Walker in for Cancelo, and we brought Son in for Jack Grealish. So basically, the thoughts behind this overall draft is that I'm a little bit worried about Alonso starting in the next game. He started in the Champions League, got pulled off after 45 minutes, and Chilwell played. Chilwell is definitely a big threat to Alonso, and I think that is a huge problem for us in the future. So I'm definitely worried about it, to say the least. And yeah, and my other thought process is that Walker, if you look at the Manchester City defense, I know Pep is the baldest of frauds in the world, but who else can he really have on that right side? Other than Cancelo, who can also play there. But Zinchenko is out, Mendy is in prison somewhere. There's nobody in that defense that can play left center back or left or right back other than Cancelo and Walker. I feel like his place is super nailed in that team. And if you're gonna pick between Walker and Diaz, I feel like you might as well just pick Walker, because I know he's not as nailed, but it just feels like he's just as nailed as Diaz. He's played almost every single game. I think he's played every single game this season so far. Let's take a look. Now, he missed the first game against Tottenham, but he played every single game other than that, and he only played half the game in Arsenal. But yeah, I don't know who else would come in for him at this point. Like, Zinchenko's not there, Mendy's not there. Actually, it was Mendy who played in the first game, so yeah, he's definitely not playing anymore. So I don't know who else would take Kyle Walker's spot at this point. It just seems like there's nobody else really competing for it, for at least until the January window opens. The thought process behind Son and why I really like him is because the algorithm that I have on Excel, I've done a lot of different formulas for this to try to find out what the best team is and what team the solver, which is basically trying to find the most optimized team for the amount of money I have. It loves Son. It just absolutely loves him, and even Harry Kane, but I'm not sure how I feel about Harry Kane at this point. But Son is going to be playing every single game. He's already got 32 points in his first games. Like, he's been scoring goals. He scored 3 goals this season, even with how crap we've been up top. He's got Aston Villa and Newcastle next, which are great fixtures. West Ham, Man United, and Everton are a little bit tougher. I think Man United definitely the hardest one out of there. But West Ham and Everton are not too bad. I think those could be games where he scores goals. And then after that, Leeds, Burnley, Brentford, Norwich. It just seems like a fantastic fixture run. And even if I wanted to, if Trent does come back and he starts playing really well, I can always drop Son after the first two games, after Aston Villa and Newcastle, drop him down to Grealish, because that's when Man City's fixtures get really good, and just bring in somebody else that could also play for Man City. Maybe bring out Rafinha for Jota or something like that, or maybe bring Kaiosaka out for somebody, or bring Tony out for Antonio. It's a very fluid squad, I feel like, because I can just take the money out of Son and instantly distribute it to somebody somewhere else. This wild card would also require me to drop Alexander-Arnold to the bench and probably bring in Duffy to play his spot and then Livramento on the first bench. Okay, let's move on to the final wild card, and the one that I am personally thinking is going to be the best one out of all of them. Okay, so this, ladies and gentlemen, is what I believe is going to be my final wild card. I just think that it is a perfect balance for this team, and I think what I was saying earlier about how I think that Son can always be dropped down to Grealish is perfect for this team. Because let's say Trent is back and is absolutely killing the game. I just want to look at his fixtures. Okay, I'll look at Salah's fixtures for Trent. Man City at home, not a great fixture anyways. If he doesn't play the Watford game, not a big deal. I can always save 2 transfers after the Manchester United game, bring him back in for Brighton by dropping Son down to Grealish and bringing either Kyle Walker up if he actually does become a huge problem in my team, or bringing Alonso up to Trent. So I have 2 options here. I can either double up on the Chelsea boys and hopefully they keep their spots, at least Alonso, or I can double up on the Man City boys, assuming they keep their spots. So I can drop whatever defense I think is doing worse at the time and has the worst fixtures. So that is really the thought process behind it. Also, Son's next 2 fixtures look really good, but Kaiosaka's fixtures look really good. Like, everybody on the team's fixtures look absolutely fantastic, and it gives me a lot of fluidity when it comes to picking players who's going to start every single game. So like I can rotate between Kyle Walker, Kaiosaka, and Tony. And those 3 players can always rotate to figure out which one has the best fixture and which one I can play this week and which one should be benched this week. Until eventually I drop Son down to Grealish, or even maybe Jota if their fixtures do turn around and start looking really nice. Maybe I bring in Jota and then I bring up one of the players to Trent Alexander-Arnold. So yeah, this is what the final wildcard draft is looking like. It's going to be. I've been playing with it for a lot this week, so I think this is probably the best team that I can think of. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully everybody likes the team, and yeah. Thanks for sticking around, and please subscribe if you feel like it. And yeah, the league code is in the description. Other than that, good luck everybody, and cheers everyone.